Welcome back to Pikmin 3. We're here at our first stop, the Garden of Hope. Brittany's signal has come from here, so this is our first stop. We're the ones with the food supply, after all. Meager as it may be. Alf's a bit slow to start, but let's get to work. We've got 21 Pikmin to work with, and we'll be increasing that number quite a bit by the end of the day. Alf's quite the engineer if he can just invent this on the fly. Very handy. It doesn't show the full details of your squad, but it does carry a couple nice overviews that are good for a quick reference. How many of each color are out of the onion or in the onion? How many of the ones in the field are with you or working or just standing still? Pretty nifty. It's not day one anymore, but our path through the day is fairly set in stone. Right now we're looking for a way out of this fairly small enclosure that we've landed in, and while we wait on that goal, we'll want to increase our squad's numbers as best we can. Some obstacles right now are more passable than others. Bridges tend to be fairly promising though. If you ever find an incomplete one, it's likely that your first priority should be scouring the area for its fragments. After all, chances are they won't all be in one pile. And in fact, we can see some fragments past this dirt wall. And before we pick up those bridge pieces, we have an egg to look at. It's housing tasty nectar. Nectar helps freshly plucked Pikmin to blossom directly into flowers. Unlike in previous games, a dollop of nectar can no longer be consumed entirely by one Pikmin. Every drop of nectar in this game is enough to feed exactly 10 Pikmin. No more, no less. So why do we want them? Well, they work faster. You'll be able to see the difference in speed even on this short trip. And while that might not sound like much, we're on a time limit for the rest of the game. The day meter at the top of the screen shows how much time you have left in the day. Currently, it's still early morning. Right, this happened. The Pikmin AI is largely much better in Pikmin 3 than either of the previous games, but right now I may as well be playing Pikmin 1. What is this? Anytime your Pikmin walk directly into water like that, or end up in it through other means, your best bet is to whistle from the direction of the shore. They'll be able to tread water for a little while, just long enough to get to safety if you're guiding them. One of the best ways to make use of your time is to split up your tasks. By having only the bare minimum Pikmin carry this bulboard back and having the rest focus on the dirt wall, they'll all have it down by the time we return. In fact, they won't even give us time to pluck the new Pikmin. But we shouldn't need too many where we're going. We'll be back to the onion soon enough. Incidentally, swarming something with the charge command is a good way to get exactly the bare minimum on a task. You can charge them a second time to get it up to the maximum. Uh-oh. Oh good. She is hardly any worse for wear. So we'll have a second captain soon enough. Just as soon as— oh my gosh, look at that! That's a big old berry. Oh come now, Alf, what a silly question. You got it there the way you've been doing everything else so far. The fruit in this game is on the lighter side compared to the ship parts in previous entries. Well, there's just glass everywhere around here, isn't there? You could call this thing a mid-boss, I guess. It's definitely suited to be fought with a small number of Pikmin. For as good as it is at shaking your Pikmin off, it is not that good at actually dealing with them. It absorbs whoever's directly beneath, and that's about it. You'll get them back at the end of the battle. Along with these fellers. Rock Pikmin. Some of them are halfway to becoming flowers already. I really like these little guys, they're adorable. Probably my favorite type of Pikmin from this game. Well, you know what they say about rocks and glass houses. If your friend is trapped inside one, keep throwing. While we're all the way over here, let's see what food we can find for the rocks. Oh, speaking of food. That berry's made its way back. The sunseed berry. Juicy enough to fill a whole thimble-sized thermos. That'll feed a space explorer for a whole day. And if we take it back and teach Kopai how to farm, we can feed them for a lifetime. So yes, collecting fruit is how we extend our time on the planet. I may need only 10 days now, but on a first playthrough, that juice buffer is a blessing. Back to rocks. The rocks that we harvest right now will be all that we get for the day. It'll be a bit of a trek to come back here after we leave. These crystals show one of the very rare gameplay changes between 3 and Deluxe. In the original, the best way to deal with them was by throwing rock Pikmin. Now, the little body tackle that the rocks do can actually match that power. Not against all but one thing, which we'll get to later. That's the last one pellet, though. 22 rocks isn't a bad count. It's rare that we need a large number of rocks anyway. Got another nectar egg here. This is actually specific to the Deluxe version of the game. In the original Pikmin 3, you wouldn't find any nectar until you've cleared this area and moved on to the next one. Hogwash, there's always time for cuteness. Well, you know what they say. Throw your friends. Yeah, it's a bit unorthodox, but it does make exploring the maps a lot easier. In fact, we wouldn't be able to reach the second piece of fruit without it. Such are the perks of having two captains. This go here function it's telling us about is an important one. Using the map on the pause screen, we can automate some travel to any place that we've already been, while another captain works in the meantime. Very good for doing multitasking. It's a pretty central gameplay mechanic. We're finally back to an area with food sources for the Pikmin. Once everyone's finished their work here, we can have the Reds take most of these baths. It won't be long before we've returned to the Drake and the Red Onion, so we'll be able to meet up there. For now though, we've got a bridge to build. The Drake is on the other side of this bridge, and this actually gives me an opportunity to show you something interesting. We're going to go ahead and get this Sunseed Berry started back to the base. And that shortcut to the base just got completed. But since it wasn't ready when the Pikmin picked up the berry, their path is already set in stone as the long way around. They're actually headed directly away from the Drake. Once a group of Pikmin has started carrying something, the path that they're taking won't change unless they drop it and pick it up again. So when longer paths are in play, it's worth it to have all of the shortcuts open before your Pikmin start carrying something back. And this actually will make a difference in a day or two. Anyway, here we are again, this time with rocks. We lost a few of them to carrying a gray 5 pellet, but what we're left with is still enough to get us through the day. It's quite a bit more important to keep raising reds. We've got plenty of them and Alf is picking away. Idle captains will do that for you. It's very nice. Our original goal of reuniting with Brittany's been accomplished, but there's still something important to be done here. We have this mysterious radar signal to investigate. This is the first place where it really pays to have two captains. One on their own wouldn't be able to cross at all. Throw a second across though and they can build a bridge back for free passage both ways. And while we will be doing just that, building the bridge is less pressing than exploring what's on the other side. That much Alf will be able to do on his own. Just as soon as these fiery blowhogs are out of the way. You'll probably notice it's only the rocks getting set on fire here. Reds are immune to fire. So as long as they don't get flung into the water or an electric fence, there's very little danger in them fighting these sort of enemies, even on their own. Alf's done picking most of those Pikmin, so it's time for him to cross the river. I believe these screws in the ground are another addition to Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Those simply exist to give you something to lock onto. It helps make aiming easier, and having a target lets you just hold down the A button to throw rapid fire. I appreciate that a lot. You can still tap the button manually to speed up the process, but I usually just go with holding. It's comfier and it's less strain on me. We'll use Go Here for the first time to take Brittany back to the Onion, and it's time for more demolition. Some dirt walls are stronger than others, and this is one of the sturdiest ones. So we'll get that going in the background while we divvy up the bridge labor over here. Like I said, it won't need to be done for a while. This way it'll be done by the time we need it done, and we get to preserve our fighting forces. You know, just in case. This is a pretty secluded area, isn't it? Oh. Poor guy.
What, Captain? Orim. Turun fu bom. Papaso haktu chap. Sasasun, go fight, nums, urn baby, tontorot, kohosunu, daisku. Patapat chichiwi. Suksu. Hatimir pasaham, kaprove.
Captain Olimar was the protagonist of the first two Pikmin games. I can't believe he met his end out here. But what could have done him in like this? Well, that's scary. Meet the first boss of the game, the Armored Maudad. It'll try and charge you and snap its pincer shut around your group of Pikmin. Any Pikmin trapped inside won't be able to escape, and they'll become its lunch fairly quickly. You can save them if you still have rocks on hand to smash its pincers, but to do this quickly, you don't want to deal with any of that. Its tail is its weakest point, and the easiest for Pikmin to latch onto. Round them up quick to keep your Pikmin safe, and repeat the process as soon as you can. Once you've shattered the tail tip, that's your time to charge. This is also that exception I mentioned earlier with the crystals. It's the one thing left in Deluxe where throwing rocks yourself goes way faster. The best you can get on this guy is 2 big rounds of damage. You need to deal a lot of damage in this fight, so it's good to have a lot of red Pikmin here since they can actually latch on. Ooh, would you look at that dragon fruit? I know we're supposed to be looking at the signal-emitting doohickey here, but I just can't take my eyes off of that tongue that's sitting out. That is just the cutest. I think an Armored Maudad would make for a pretty good pet. And now for the other reason we needed these numbers. There's a lot to take back from here and a very long path to bring it down. We'll speed up what we can by going over the requirement here and there. Have Alf travel back to the bridge to check how progress is going, and switch back to Brittany. She's been left with the squad that carried back the fiery blowhog, plus the Pikmin who sprouted from it. If at all possible, there's a dirt wall in this area that I'd like to break down. Retrieving the fruit behind it would be nice, but it's more important that we open it up for go here functions for a later day. So to make that easier, we'll just clear the area of a couple yellow mollywogs. For as much as they were menaces in the first game, they've had a severe downgrade. They can't deal with Pikmin being on top of them anymore. And since we can lock onto them now, yeah, they don't stand much of a chance. If they ever do get a moment to jump in the air, they hover for longer than they used to as well. Demonstration right there. Amusingly, the nearby pond posed more threat than they ever did. Poor fellas. We'll gather up as many food sources as we can before switching back to Alf. We'll want the device and the fruit to get back to the Drake, and the boss body to get all the way on the other side of the map to the rock Pikmin's onion. That should pretty much take care of it for getting the day's plans done. That's basically the whole bridge built. We've got enough Pikmin to expedite the rest of the process. And I believe we're about to hit 100 Pikmin in the field. So yes, as in previous entries, only 100 Pikmin can be in the field. The new Ultra Spicy difficulty actually lowers that limit to 60, which is admittedly a pretty fun twist. It also cuts the amount of juice you get from fruit in half, takes away the brand new nectar eggs that in the deluxe version, and I think removes some of the ones that were there in the original as well. It's a pretty fun challenge on its own. I just think hard mode is more fun for dedicated challenge runs. And the bridge is complete right on time. The more we do today, the easier future days on this map will go. So we'll see if we can pick up one more piece of fruit by sunset. For that, we'll require both captains. Sunset works as it did in previous games. Any Pikmin who aren't directly under your command or close enough to the onions will be lost to nocturnal predators. One nice change though is we actually get to see exactly what counts as close enough this time. We can also use a map-wide whistle function at the Drake to get every Pikmin pathing back towards it. But they won't be considered safe until they actually reach the onion's radius. So if you do that, make sure you give the Pikmin enough time to return. That helpful number at the top of the screen tells us exactly how many Pikmin we're poised to lose overnight. It's always scary to see the number in the upper 70s. We've retrieved the data glutton. It's from a time before flip phones. Truly ancient. And that's 45 Pikmin freed up to work on that wall. All that we really needed to do is enter this room so that we can path here later. But Sundown's still far enough away. We'll just toss Alpha on up. Apparently he weighs as much as a Pikmin does. And we'll ray down the other side. Simple enough for now. That should pretty much take care of it for getting the day's plans done. They did take us all the way until evening, but definitely less hectic than later days are going to be. This one doesn't demand much beyond some basic workforce distribution. The day's flow is pretty set in stone without much to work towards besides your main objectives. All that's left in the day is to keep eyes on each onion site and make sure we don't lose anyone to going missing overnight. Plus, I think there's some rock Pikmin sprouts from earlier in the day that never got plucked. There's also this one data file that we shattered open that we may as well pick up here. New sprouts will be the same color as the Pikmin that retrieved the Pelleter creature. Basically how it worked in the previous games, though the phrasing is something to note. It doesn't say that the Pikmin will take them to one onion or another, just that it'll feed whichever tribe is carrying it better. A little unusual. With that though, we can just kick back and wait for sundown. I always enjoy letting the day end naturally. It's nice having that extra little bit of time to breathe. What's this? Yes, that's right. From now on, rather than having 5 separate onions to juggle at a landing site, we've just got one hub for everyone. This won't happen until sundown, of course, so days like today where we discover an onion they'll still be separate out in the wild. But it's a very welcome change being able to retrieve Pikmin of as many different colors as you want all in one go. Look at those models. Doesn't matter how often I play it, Pikmin 3 always gets me in the mood for fruit. Especially with the color blending on the drinks too. Absolutely gorgeous. I've seen lately that there are some dragon fruits that actually are pink on the inside. I'm used to them only being white. So I always thought it was weird that their juice was pink. Like, surely you're not juicing the pulp. Well, no, there's a chance that they're not. Brittany's right. That amount of juice will actually get us through the rest of the game. But of course we're not staying that low. We'll be collecting every source of juice that we can. You can see that sharp incline for the rocks is where the boss body came back. Absolutely huge boost. I think that was like 50 Pikmin all at once. And we've got our little replay to watch as well. Nothing much today, but it's nice seeing all those little dots roam around the map. Get that one Pikmin bonking his head against the crystal for a while. It's moments like this with the bridge where having the replay really helps out. You get a lot better idea of how many more or fewer Pikmin you would need on a task with that sort of visual aid. And with a gulp for the juice, that's the end of our day. It's simple, but I think that's one of my favorite daily journals. With the help of that signal boost from the Data Glutton, we've got a new area to explore. We're going to want to unlock a new area on the first day we can every time for a while. So we'll likely have a boss to take down next time too. Next time we're off to the distant tundra.